Hello everyone, this is Rahul Pawar and welcome to my YouTube channel Xpressurdata. In today's video, we are trying to understand what is parameter and we'll also see different use cases related to the parameter, like most commonly applied in real time. Okay, so without wasting much time, let us get started. While doing so, if you're new to my channel, don't forget to like, share and subscribe. So see, one thing that we need to understand is whenever we are using a parameter means we are trying to bring in a dynamicity to our reports, or we want end users to pass some value at the runtime so that Tableau can give us the results accordingly. Now there are different use cases, with respect to that. But before we even go and create a use case, try to remember following four important steps that I'm going to tell you. You will never go wrong. First step is first understand which type, I mean, like say here, what should be the data type of the parameter that you are going to create. This is the first step that you need to answer, okay, yourself. So once you finalize, second step is create the parameter. Now, parameters are global in nature. So when I say global in nature, once you create, it will be available in the workbook, okay, in the entire workbook. Okay. So next is show that parameter. Okay. And last step I would say is establishing relationship with database. Now, until and unless you establish any relationship with the data, Tableau, this parameter will not be able to work. So now let us see this one by one with a very basic use case. I'm starting. First is I want to highlight the category selected by the user from my view. Okay. So for that, what I'm doing is I'm clicking on this arrow mark and I'm clicking create a parameter from here. Step one. Okay. Because I want to pass category items, I'm deciding that I want a string type of parameter. So now first name the parameter here. I'm writing select category here. Okay. And then what is the data type I should get? I want a string data type. So I'm selecting string data type here. Next here we have some values. Current value is 1, which means by default, what is the value that you want to pass? That it is listing here. Okay. So, but for now, all means all the values. But for now, I'm selecting list of values because I have only limited values in my category. Now, when it comes to list of values, Tableau is asking you to enter your values that you want to see in the drop down. So either you can manually write or you can also import from the fields. Again, this step is important. So like I said, our intention is to select the category, right? So I'm clicking on add values from. So this will directly import from the field. Okay. So if I click on this, these are the list of fields that are available in our database here. So if you see here from this, it is getting. Now, whatever the field that you select here, all that will be imported. Like say I'm category, I'm selecting here. Where is our category? Here it is. See, all the category items are in this. That is what we need. Okay. So click OK. So our if I go to this, our first step is completed. We have identified that it should be a string data type. And then we have also created the parameter. Okay, so completed, I'm writing. Now we need to show the parameter here. Third step, I'm going back here, click on this and click on show parameter. Now observe here, like I said, this is global in nature and nothing is happening when I'm changing here. See, wherever the worksheet or to whichever the worksheet I go, this is remaining same. Okay, even when you are moving to any other data source that is there, even then this parameters will be reflected here. So we have created the parameter, we have shown the parameter. Now we need to establish a relationship with our data. Then only this will work. So before I do that, I'm just creating a simple view here, and I'm taking my category and sales, and I'm dropping it here, making it entire view, and maybe I'll add my label also. So this is what we have. Now let us write a calculation so that our uh, parameter works efficiently. I'm writing. So my intention is to highlight whatever the category user is selecting. Like say if he's selecting furniture, only the furniture should highlight from this. If he's selecting office supplies, only that part should highlight. So I'm writing a calculation here. And because I'm using parameter, I'm just prefixing that and giving the same name. Maybe whenever it is recommended that whenever you are using parameters in calculation, have a unique identifier in the calculation name so that you can identify. Just remember that. Okay. Now simply what I'm doing is my select category is equal to my category here. Now what will happen here in this case? Now can you tell me what will be the data type of this? What will be the data type of this calculated field? Please pause the video here and comment before I tell. Okay. So now what happens is every value of this from our parameter. Now at present, what is there? Office supplies is there. So now what will happen here? The execution will start like this. So here what we have furniture, and here what we have office supplies is equal to furniture. So is it equal to furniture? No, then it will return false. Likewise, next office supplies is equal to office supplies. This will return true. Next what is there? Technology is there. Is technology, sorry, from here office supplies only. Office supplies is equal to technology. Is it equal? No, it will return false. So like that, each statement or each value of category will be evaluated for this condition, and it will either return a true or a false. That is why the data type of this field will be calculated field will be Boolean. So that is why you see it is giving T/F. Now I am using this calculated field on my color shelf. Okay, see here, observe. Now whatever I am selecting, only that is highlighting, but I'm just making like effective colors here. So whatever true is there, I just want to be this, and just false is something like this. So now it will kind of looks like it is grayed out. So when I'm selecting office supplies, only that is highlighted. When I'm selecting furniture, only that is highlighted. So even if I drill down to next level of granularity, that will work. See, very basic use case. Okay. So, but what is important here? We have created a parameter called as a string of string data type, and we have used it on color shelf. Okay. Now let us see other use case here. This time what I'm doing is I'm taking my customer name here. Okay. And I'm also taking sales. Maybe I'll drop it on label to make it easy. I'm sorting it. Now I need top 10 customers here. Okay. So for that, what I'm doing is I'm just creating my parameter in a different method now. So I'm taking my customer name. Okay. And when I am dropping it on filter shelf, going to top, selecting by field. Till here everyone knows. So here we have top, I'm keeping it as it is. So here 10 means by it will only print 10. So this 10 is static. Now if I click on this arrow mark, there is an option called as create a new parameter. So I'm clicking on that. Now what happens? Again the same pop-up we got after we get create parameter. So now I'm enter number. or like I'll say top and customers. Okay. So now if you see here, by default, the data type is identified because you want to pass numbers. It is classifying that as integer. Now what is the current value here? 10, which means by default, whenever you open your dashboard, it will display top 10 customers. Okay. So so this is when value, when workbook opens is current value. So this is your current value. Okay. So it will always display this. Now here, either you can select all values, list values, or range anything. Because we have seen list, I'm selecting range here. Now when I'm selecting range, you see we got some extra options here. Range of values. Like how do you want to limit the customers? So minimum, like say I want to give or display top 5 customers. Maximum user can do is up to 20, not beyond that. That is my intention. So I'm limiting my custom user that he should not select anything beyond this range. That is the use case here. So step size means, like say by default it will be 5. After that, what you need, it depends on this step size. So if I select 1, 5 plus 1 6, 6 plus 1 7, like that. If I selecting 2, 5 plus 2 7, 7 plus 2 9, like that. So because it is not required, I'm not using it. Okay, and I'm clicking on OK and apply. Okay, see everything is done in a single instant. So it is created a calculated field, it has applied, and here we also have the number. So I'm selecting as type. So just to make it even clear, I'm just writing index here. This will generate row number for me, and I'm making discrete. Now when I'm selecting 10, it is displaying me top 10 customers. When I'm selecting 5, it is displaying top 5. But if I'm selecting 2, it is not displaying, it is rounding up to 5. Because if you remember, we have selected that we want minimum 5 values to be displayed. Likewise, it is not allowing me to see any values less than 5. Likewise, if I enter 10, I'll get that. If I enter 15, I'm getting that. And if I enter 20, I'm getting that as well. But if I go beyond 20, it is not allowing because we have limited a maximum value of 20 in the parameters. So that is the second use case. If at all you want to control what the user will pass in the parameter, you can use range of values and set it accordingly. So this is your second use case here. Okay. So here if you see, we are using our parameter in filter shelf. So in interview, sometimes he might ask you like, did you use parameter in filter, or parameter on color shelf, or parameter on label? Then remember this kind of use cases here. Okay. So let us go to our third use case here. It is dynamic measure. Now my intention is I will create my basic view, and based on the measure that the user is selecting, I want values to pop up. That is the intention. So if he's selecting profit, it should show profit here. If he's selecting sales, it should show sales. Maybe you can add more measure. If you want quantity, you can also write quantity. So like say again, for that, step one is I'm creating a parameter, create a parameter. This, so you can either create a string parameter for this or an integer parameter for this. But mostly try that, you create an integer parameter because they work, faster compared to string data type. So I'm writing the name as select measure here, and I'm writing choosing the data type as integer. And again, I have list of values, so I'm writing list, but this time I'm giving value 1 and 2 here because my data type of this parameter is integer, but I'm displaying that as sales and profit. Maybe you can try to create uh, a string type parameter and try to write a calculation accordingly. Clicking OK, and now I'm displaying that. So our 3 steps are done, but when I'm doing this, nothing is happening. Now let us write a calculation for this. I'm writing p select measure. Okay, and I'm writing a case statement. Maybe you can try alternate statement here. Okay, so in from this select measure, what are the possible values that we can get, 1 and 2? So for each value we need to write the statement here. So when it is when 1, then it is and 2, then it is sum of profit. So this is valid. So either you can write like this, or you can also write like this, and on top of this you can do an aggregate on the whole. It's up to you, or you can even ignore this, and when you drag this field automatically it will get aggregated. So whatever you feel good, you can write it. Everything is right. It entirely like how Tableau performs depends on that. So I'm just simply writing this, click on apply, and okay. This time what I'm doing is I'm using my calculated field in the view. Now see here, when I'm selecting sales, it is displaying sales. When I'm selecting profit, it is displaying profit. Now I want my titles also to be dynamic and to show that they are displaying this for profit and all. So what I can do is I can edit my title. So I'll just keep the name as it is, displaying for. I'm just passing the value from my parameter here. So which is select measure. Okay, and I'll just make it bold. Apply. Okay. Now see, whatever I am selecting from here, the same value is being passed. So this is called as dynamic titles. So sometimes you might get a situation like this also where you want to show dynamic titles. You can use it. So this is your third use case, the dynamic measures. Okay. So next is sheet swapping. This is one of the most commonly implemented scenario, and use case 3 is also very frequently implemented scenario in real time. So there is very high probability that you might get one such a scenario. Like here we have taken sales and profit, but they might ask you like say current year sales or previous year sales or YTD or MTD. All of that can be done with a similar approach. So here in this calculation, if you see, we have taken directly our sales and measure. Maybe you can take the current year calculation or your previous year calculations, whatever you want, you can take it. But whole and soul, the process will remain same. Next is sheet swapping. So for this, my intention is like say there are three views in our dashboard, and we have three different type of charts. So maybe line chart, bar chart, and pie chart. So based on what user is selecting, only that should pop up. That is the intention here. So for that, first what I'm doing is I'm just duplicating this two times, or maybe first we'll create. So I'll create a parameter here, and I'll write select chart type. And this time purposely I'm selecting string type, and again a list of values. So I'm writing bar chart, line chart, and maybe pie chart. So here I'm just taking this in real time. It can be any different charts, but the concept will again remain same. So I'm just clicking on OK. So parameter we have created. Click on this and show parameter. So first step is done. So I'm creating a bar chart here basically. So I'm taking my order date, and I'm just taking my sales and dropping it on view. So I'm just converting it into bar chart. And what I'm doing now is I'm just duplicating this three times, because I have three different charts, right, for the same view, one and two. So in one, I'm just converting this into a line chart here, and maybe I'll write it as, and this one I'm converting this into pie chart. This I'll write it as bar chart. So three charts I'm naming three ways. Okay, so this we need to convert it into pie chart. I'm going to show me and converting this. Simple. I'm making it entire view. Okay, so now what I'm doing is we need to write a calculation. Okay, so first I'm going to bar chart. So simply I'm going to calculated field and I'm writing p select chart type. Now what I'm doing is I'm simply calling this select a chart type here. Okay, click on apply and okay. Now see here, whatever the value that I'm selecting here, that value is being passed to our calculated field. How can I tell? If I drag and drop this, you see bar chart I'm getting here. Likewise, if I change my selection to line chart, see here, we will get line chart. Now this concept we are going to use it for our advantage. So because this is bar chart, I'm changing my selection to bar chart and I'm taking this calculated field and dropping it on filter shelf and I'm selecting only bar chart. Click on apply. Okay. So this will become true only when it is bar. Okay. See, if I'm selecting line, this is gone. So this is the concept behind this. Likewise, I'm going to select going to line chart here and I'm just taking the same parameter and dropping it on this, making line chart. And this time I'm taking this and dropping it on filter shelf again. So this time I'm using this. Click on apply. Okay. So again on this as well we need, but here pie chart I'm selecting. Same calculated field, I'm dropping it on this pie chart. So if you observe, we are using same parameter on three different sheets and same calculation on three filter shelf for three different sheets. Now I'm going to dashboard and maybe I'll add a container and maybe I'll keep it floating and I'll add a container. And within the container, I'm going to add those three sheets. So bar chart I've added and line chart I have added and pie chart also I've added. So three charts I have added. So for now, I'm just removing all the titles because I don't need. Okay. Now see here, if I select pie chart, only pie chart is coming. If I select a line chart, only line chart. If I select a bar chart, only bar chart. So it looks like everything is in a single sheet, but technically these are three different sheets that are overlapping each other, and based on what we are selecting, they are popping up. Okay, so we need to effectively design in a container, then only it will work properly. Maybe in new versions, if at all you are using, you might need to add a custom list. Just see how it is working. Mine is little older version. So I am using 2021.1 version, but just check that it is working in a similar way in the latest version. So this is your fourth use case. Now let us see fifth use case. So now till now what we have done, we have used parameter in filter shelf. We have used a parameter on the label. We have used it on color shelf. So now we are using data type parameter. So first step, what I'm doing is again, maybe before that, I can also take my view and I'm just converting this into exact date and I'm making discrete. Okay, and I'm just making sales and dropping it here. So if you see here, we have values till 2021. My data is related to till uh, December 30, 2021. I have data till this only. Okay, so I'm creating a parameter. I'm selecting the name as select date. Okay, now our intention is to show the sales based on the date selected by the user. Okay, so for that I'm selecting the data type as date because we want to pass date. Now what happens is when you select here date, by default it will take today's date. Okay, by default it will take today's date. So it is taking 28/2, 2023. But it is not necessary that your database should also have the latest value. Like say, observe our scenario, we do not have the latest value, but you want your parameter to work according to this. So I can select range here, and here we have an option called as a fixed option. So here I can set my date values according to my field. So I'm selecting set values from my order date. Now see here, automatically my minimum date is this and my maximum date is this, and by default it is taking the maximum date. Automatically it is applying. Okay. So it is syncing its date values according to that. Now click on OK. So I'm displaying show parameter and I'm making it type in shelf here. So when I select type in, I'll get the calendar here. So later on, whatever the values that you get in database, this will also get automatically updated. You need not worry about that. Now let us write a calculation for that. Okay. So I'm writing P select date. So simply if my order date is equal to my select date, that's it. Very basic calculations. This is this. Okay. So again, what will happen for every date of your order date? This date will be matched. Okay. So now again, what is the data type of this? Can you try to guess and write it in the comment section? Let us see. So I'm taking this, apply. Okay. Again, it is generating Boolean statement because there is an equal to operator in that. And I'm just dropping it on filter shelf. I'll take only true values here. Now see here, based on the date I am selecting, my values are displaying. Now I can build my view accordingly. So it need not be only order date. I can have any calculation here. I can also have my category. I can have my subcategory. Everything should work accordingly. See, like that. Now if I select 30, this one. So this is our fifth use case, displaying sales for the date selected by the user. Now next is selecting for the date range. Again, our use case 5 and use case 6 are very frequently implemented scenarios. So because we already have one date, I'm just renaming this as edit is, and I'm renaming it as select start date. Click on OK. And likewise, I'm just duplicating this and I'm renaming this as select end date. Okay. So user will select dates from these two parameters, and based on that, we should display the value. Okay. So click OK. So because we set two dates, I am displaying those two parameters on my view. So let us make it type in and let us try to build logic for this. Okay. So again, I'm taking my order date so that it is easy to understand, making it exact date and converting that into discrete here. Okay. And I'll take sales also. So first we need to understand how to evolve, evaluate writing this logic. So now start date I'm selecting as 26th of December. End date is 30, which means I want to display sales between 26th of December to 30 December. That is our selected range. Now let us try to write a calculation for this. Okay, so I'm writing P select date range. So here we need to understand two things. So what is our base date here? Our base date is order date. We are comparing this date, the selected date and end date to this date. Okay, and based on the condition only, it should display the value. Now 26 I'm selecting here means what? My order date should be greater than 26 because we need dates from 26 and 30, right? So that is the first step that I'm writing here. So let's say order date is greater than selected date. Okay, let us now put this in filter shelf and we'll see the result here. Again, I'm just taking this and dropping it on filter shelf. See, nothing is true here. Order date is, sorry, not end date, it is a start date. Apply. So I'm just taking this and where did it go? Here. I'm dropping it on filter shelf and I'm taking only this. Now see here. So we are getting sales which is greater than this date, 26. Okay, so we got 27, 28, 29, 30. But remember that in our database, 30 is the last value. That is why it is working fine. But if I select 29 also, it is displaying 30. This is because of the limitation of the data, not because of the calculated field. In real time, you might have data beyond this also. So don't assume that only this logic will work. Okay, or rather I'll select like say 19th now and maybe 26th here. But this is not working. It is showing till 30, which is incorrect. Now, again, I'm writing one more condition to this and my end date should be less than this. And my order date, sorry, not end date, order date should be less than my end date. Then only the dates that I have will be in this range. So I'm writing select end date. So now what will happen? My order date is greater than this date that I'm choosing, which means above 19, 20, 21, whatever, and it is less than this. So it will apply each date, it will come here. Now 20, it will check. Is 20 greater than 19? Yes. Then it will print it true. So till here, 21 is also greater than 2 and it is less than 26. True, 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 true. All this will be true. Now if it comes to 27, it is not less than 26. It is greater than 26. But if it is, you see here, greater than 19, right? So because here we have and condition, both needs to be true. Then only it will apply. So if I click on apply, you see, we are getting all the dates between this. But if I select or, if any one of the statement is true, the entire result is true. See, we got all the dates because technically all the dates which are less than this date, it is trying to print. That we don't need. I'm clicking on add and I'm clicking on apply. We got all the dates. Now, but say assume you also need this 19th and 26th. If you observe here, we are not getting that. So here you need to write equal to operator. Here and here as well. Maybe not here, here, this side. Okay. Now what will happen? This dates will also be considered your 19th and 26th. Click on apply. See here you got 19th and 16th. Likewise, you can display the sales for the date range selected by the user. Now user can select any date based on whatever he is selecting, he is getting the values. This is your sixth use case. Select sales for date range. Now let us see, I want to display last 7 days from the date selected by the user. That is the intention again. Okay. Again, so for that, what I'm doing is I'm taking order date and I'm making it exact date here. And I'm converting this into discrete here. Okay. And again, I'm taking my sales and dropping it. And we'll consider our select start date only because we already have a date parameter. So I'm not creating that. So, and I'm just making it show parameter. Now my intention is whatever the date I'm selecting, like say 26th I'm selecting. So from this, I want the last 7 days of data. Okay. So for that, first is what is the first step that we need to do? We need to find out the date difference here, right? So first we should get to that point in our mind. Okay. So I'm writing it as last 7 days and I'm writing date difference of, because we want to find out difference in days. I'm taking day part here, comma, from my order date and select the start date. which means with this date and to my order date, it will try to find out the difference. So before we do anything, I'm just taking this and I'm dropping it here. Now see here, it is becoming aggregate. I don't want that. I want this to be a dimension field. I'm converting that into dimension and I'm just dropping it here. Now see here, this there are 1453 days difference. But if I scroll down from the bottom, you will understand. Okay. So there are negative values because it is more than 26. You see, that is why it is -4, -3. But observe from here, 26 is matching here and 26. So the difference is 0 technically. If it is 25, it is 1. So we need all last 7 days means 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We need this, right? So I want all my days which are less than 7, right? So I'm writing it as date difference less than 6. I'm writing. Why I'm writing 6? Because my date difference is starting from 0. So if I need 7, I need it till 6. Okay. So you can write like this, then you'll get 6, or you can write less than or equal to 6. Both are perfectly fine. It will do same, but let us see if it is working or not. Okay. So it is giving true till here, you observe, but it is also giving true here, all of this. Why? Because we are getting negative values in this, if you remember, -1, -2, -3, -4. So we can write another condition here, that and same, just copying this. So first you need to see how this calculation is being executed for each of your value, then only you will be able to justify. So that is why first evaluate this is your basic base what you call code. If this is working perfectly, then you can directly filter, or you can do is you can just take this and create a calculated field and drop it on filter shelf, and you can filter it from there also. I am writing like this and trying to filter. Now if I click on apply, you see here this is also becoming false. So greater than or equal to, again here, this is becoming true. So like this, small values you have to check. So click on this and OK. And this last 7 days, now I'm taking on to filter shelf, selecting only true values. Now based on whatever the date I choose, I'll get this. So 19th I have selected, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Till 13th we got like that. So if I write index to make sure it is only 7, you can also do that. Again, one of the very, interesting scenarios in real time, one of the very frequently requested concept, last 7 days, last 6 days, like that. Here, we are getting only 6 values. So maybe there is no data for 12th here. That is why it is not showing any value. Okay. So don't think that, there is no data. Maybe you can check for a few days. So when I'm selecting for 26, it is automatically displaying. When I'm selecting for 22, I'm getting 7. So everything is working fine. We need not worry. So this is your last 7 days from the date selected. Likewise, you can do it for current week, current month sales also in this current week sales. So suppose user is selecting some random date here in this week, whatever the date he is selecting, whether it is 28th February, 1st or 2nd or 3rd, no matter, it should display the sales for the current week. This is our current week from 27th till 4th. Likewise here 20 to 25 is my week. So if you're selecting something in this, it should display sales for this entire week. That way also we can do. So just try to use these scenarios for the current month, like that. Okay, let us move on to next use case here. Now we will use parameter on reference line. Okay, so we have seen different types of parameter, like say string, integer, date, and we have used it on filter shelf, label, and we have also used it on the row shelf, like that. But now I'm going to use it on reference line. So for that, what I'm doing is I'm selecting again a category wise subcategory, and I'm taking sales. Maybe after this, what I'm doing is I'm just uh, swapping it. Now I want to add a reference line here technically. Right click on this, add a reference line. So here is this is entire table. So value we have again sum of sales. So from here also I can use my parameter. Like say I want to pass some value here. So I can create a parameter. Again it is taking parameter, and I'll write entire number. Okay. So current value is, let's say here I want to display by default line near 10,000. Okay. And I'm not selecting anything here. Just I'm keeping it all. Click OK. And here also OK. Sorry, maybe label I want to display the value here. Okay. Click OK. Now see here. Maybe again enter number was the name, right? So I'm just displaying show parameter. Now whatever the value that I write here, a line is being displayed. This way we are using reference line, sorry, parameter on the reference line. Not many know about this, but just try to remember. Likewise, we can also use it on the date part here, reference line on the axis. So for that, what I'm doing is here, I'm taking my order date and I'm just taking my sales, and maybe I'll make it exact date here and swap it. Now here we have dates, right? And here we have axis. So now we will use these two together. Two parameters, one is on axis, one is on this. So I'm adding a reference line here, entire table. My value is order date, but here I'm passing my select start date because I have already have that parameter. So I'm selecting that. Again, computation is value because I want to show the date. So this is that. Now that is one thing. Click OK. And here also I want value. Click OK, add reference line. And here I'm entering, just passing that enter number thing here. Okay, computation is value. Again on the entire table, this is value, click OK. Now see here, we have two parameters that is being used. One is my enter number and another one is my select start date. Now suppose whatever the date that I choose, based on that, my parameter will change. Like say suppose I'm using somewhere around this. I'll go and select some random date. See my this line is my being moved. Likewise, I can change my value from reference line also like this. Or maybe now 10,000 if I write like this. Say now here it is this. That way I can use my parameters on reference line. Again, the concept here is very important. Okay. So in each of the use case that we have discussed, the concept is very important. If you remember the concept, you can implement it on anything, any scenario. Let us see another use case. This is something interesting, dynamic view. Now I want the user to build a dynamic view based on the dimensions and measure he's selecting. It should display a dynamic view here. Like say how statically we behave. Generally, we take category and make it fixed. That I don't want. Okay. So for that, what I'm doing is I'm just creating my parameter and I'm writing it as choose dimension one. So I'm writing it like that, and I'm writing it as a string because I want to pass string value. That is why. And my list of values, maybe I want a region, maybe I want a category, and maybe I want a segment. Three values I'm taking. Okay, click OK. So I'm just duplicating this two times because we have three dimensions to pass, and I'm just duplicating it one more time. Same thing, everything is same. Just we need to rename it because values will also be same. So why we are creating three is because in parameter, as of now, we can select only uh, one value at a time, right? So I'm just clicking on dimension 3. Maybe I'll just keep it like this only. Click OK. So our dimension is ready. Dimension 1, dimension 2, dimension 3. Now I'm just selecting one more parameter and I'll write it as choose measure. Okay, and this time I'm just selecting only one. So maybe I'll write it as 1 and 2, and I'll write it as sales and profit. Click OK. Sorry, I wanted that to be of integer type. So I'm selecting integer here. Click OK. Now everything is ready. So let us display this. Show parameter, this one, and this also. And choose measure. So we have everything on the dashboard. Now we need to write a calculation. I'm writing, like say, P choose dim 1. Okay. So what are the values do we have here? So I'm writing case of my choose dimension 1. So from this, when it is region, then display region feed. Likewise, when it is segment, then display segment. And when it is uh, category, yeah, when it is category, then display category and it. Apply. Okay, I'm just using this field on my view now. See here, because I have chosen region, automatically we are getting it. If I'm selecting category, okay, category is not matching. Maybe I made some mistake here. Let us go and check that. So CAT, okay. See here, I made spelling mistake here. And that's why it is not matching. If I click on apply, you got the value here. Now, whatever the thing user is selecting from here, he is displaying that. He is getting that. So now I'm writing a calculation for my measure. Sorry, P choose measure. Okay, same calculation case of choose measure, and when 1, then it is sum of sales. When 2, then it is sum of profit. Simple. And end it. Click on apply. Okay. Now I'll just take this and drop it on view. Now based on what user is selecting, automatically we'll get it. If it is region wise sales, region wise category wise sales, and likewise if you want profit, profit is selecting. So same thing, now we need to replicate it for other two parameters that we have. So everything will remain same. Just I'm duplicating this 2 times because we have 2 more parameters to do, and I'm writing or editing this 2, and here I'm just passing second parameter. This is the only thing that you need to remember. Click on apply. Okay, and I'll just add this to view, and likewise edit this. I'm making it third, and here instead of 1 you need to pass 3. Apply. Okay, I'm just taking that also to the view. Now see here, based on the dimensions we are choosing. So from 1 I'll choose region, from other one I'll choose category, and from here segment, maybe segment like that. So whatever the way we need, we can put the calculation or arrange our view so that it looks good. Okay, so this is your building dynamic view. I hope you find this video helpful to your addition. If it does, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And that's it from my side in this video. And don't forget to comment, and see you in the next video. Till then, have a good day and bye bye.